So one thing a lot of people are noticing about Caitlin Clark at Team USA, and I think this is a really positive thing, is that all that muscle that Caitlin Clark put on in during last offseason seems to be gone. It all seems to be gone, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Like we did see a stronger Caitlin Clark, by the way. We saw a stronger Caitlin Clark because if you guys don't remember, I think it was the second or third game of the season when they played those back-to-backs against Atlanta. Ryan Howard tried to run through Caitlin Clark and she just bounced off her. But Caitlin Clark was slower. She was slower. No question about that. You saw some of the movements and a lot of people were like, oh, she didn't put on enough weight to get slower. And it's like, what people don't understand when it comes to Caitlin is that the further away you shoot, the worse a slight change, a tiny change can be. Like if you're a slight change on a layup, you're not missing a layup. But a slight change on a 30-footer might be going in. Might not be going in. That being said, though, it's like a golfer. If they have something slightly wrong with their swing, they might just basically never be able to hit a ball again because it's all fine margins. Whereas Caitlin Clark is now looking skinny. Like if you're looking at these pictures, she looks as skinny as Cameron Brink here. Which compared to what she was like like she had gotten much bigger. I think Correlation might have had a picture. I think she might have had a picture of Caitlin at the All-Star break. Or is Correlation a guy or a girl? I actually don't know. I have no idea. Also, shout out to them for the Twitter account. They are one of the premier Caitlin Clark aggregation Twitter accounts. I think, is there a picture of her at All-Star? I don't think so. But she absolutely has slimmed down a lot. And she's back to kind of the way she was a rookie. And that's what you need for Caitlin Clark. You need that, like, for lack of a better word, that soccer build. You need that soccer build. She can take bumps. She was better at taking bumps as a rookie. She was faster at getting to the line. And, like, Caitlin is absolutely looks back I'm not going to say to her best because you just never know. But like she looks kind of almost to her best. The way she's moving, the way she just kind of is weaving in and out. You can see on this play right here, goes and splits that screen, keeping the ball low dribble wise. And the defensive end, she's looking like she's trying. Which is, something to be said for that. I don't think Caitlin Clark's ever going to be a great defender at the WNBA level. I think she can be a solid defender. I don't think we're ever going to see Caitlin as a great defender. But that being said, being a solid defender is fine. It's fine. Being solid is absolutely fine in basketball. But yeah, like you're looking now at Caitlin, who she looks like she's getting there. And she looks like she's getting back into the shape she was as a rookie. And obviously, with her talking, she's talking about being 100% healthy and, not taking the injury for granted. It is, like, it's good to see, her taking it seriously. And look, I think she probably had a lot of people in her ear and a lot of good trainers in her ear. I think she probably had a lot of people, like genuinely good trainers in her ear saying, bulk up, you're going to be fine. You need to get stronger in the WNBA. And remember that, I was like, oh, Caitlin's just too weak. She doesn't have the right build for the WNBA. And I remember Gino literally putting down Paige, saying, oh, Paige doesn't either. I was like, no, they both do. They're both equally as strong / weak. They're both just better than every other guard. If we're being honest. But yeah, like all around, it is it's a good thing to see. It is a good thing to see when it comes to obviously the muscle here, and the muscle that Caitlin Clark has lost realistically. Like you're seeing it everywhere. That's one of the things that people are really, really surprised about. Because remember all those pictures of her All-Star break flexing, and she looked like she was much, much bigger. Skinny Caitlin Clark, and the speed is back. Caitlin Clark lockdown defense, getting over the screen. Caitlin hasn't played meaningful basketball in 6 months. Her first day back, and she's the Antichrist women's basketball. Yeah, you're not wrong with that. You're not wrong with that one, but there was no word skinny. Murky Code's a fan of Caitlin Clark. Skinny / Iowa Caitlin looks to be back. I mean, Nate Tibbetts is probably, if you look at how Nate Tibbetts guards Caitlin Clark, there is nobody that respects Caitlin Clark. There's nobody that fears. Like, this is why teams, this is the difference between respect and fear. The Las Vegas Aces allowed Leah Boston score open layups for an entire half. If you watch the game when Caitlin struggled a bit, she had a double-double. I think she had like 19 and 11, but she really struggled at the end. But if you guys don't remember that game, in the first half, Caitlin had like 9 assists. It looked like she was going to break the record. Or 7, or maybe 7 or 8 assists. But like they were double teaming Caitlin and letting Aaliyah score open layups because they were scared shitless of Caitlin. But Caitlin's Iowa skinny again. I miss skinny Caitlin. I don't know. We're done after this. But that's one of the big things is, again, there is that level of speed. And I don't think, it's not like in a one sprint makes a difference, but over the course of a game, like the way Caitlin plays and the speed Caitlin plays at, she's got to be Steve Nash. And I think too many people are trying to turn her into Steph Curry when she's Steve Nash. And I'm saying, oh, but Steve Nash never won through no fault of his own. Steve Nash never won because he played for Robert Sarver, who refused to pay anybody. He refused to pay anybody, kept trading first-round picks. He traded Luol Deng and Rajon Rondo for cash, and then traded Sean Marion for Shaq for some reason. And also, they would have won a championship in 2007 if not for 2 players getting off the bench and getting suspended. Like, the reason the Suns didn't win a championship was nothing to do with Steve Nash. The reason the Suns didn't win a championship was because they had a cheap owner, and the year they were about to win a championship, 2 players got suspended. 2 of their starters got suspended. That's why Nash doesn't have a championship. She's Steve Nash. And you have Aaliyah Boston, who's your Amare pick and roll partner. You've got a player, a third star in Kelsey Mitchell, who is a better offensive player than anything Caitlin Clark's had to deal with. Now it's just find your Sean Marion Swiss Army knife, which to an extent, Sophie Cunningham. So like, I think the Fever should be looking at 7 seconds. They should be looking at 7 seconds or less. And they can play this up-tempo ball rather than looking at motion offense with Curry. Especially with this with Iowa Caitlin back. Especially with peak Caitlin back in peak shape. And again, look, her conditioning, I don't know if it's there. According to Steward, it's not. But at the same time, even if her conditioning is not there, there's never going to be a day in her career where Caitlin Clark is out of shape, for being honest. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Do you guys agree with this? Do you guys disagree? Do you think she should get bigger? Because to be fair, like, let's never forget small forward Caitlin Clark. Let's never forget small forward Caitlin Clark. We don't want that again. We don't want Caitlin standing in that corner watching the game. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.